What's that billowing down the stairs? It's smoke!
It smells like the art teacher's office.
Smoke in the water! Dun, 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 dun.
Uh-oh.
Dun, 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 dun. They burned down the gambling house. It died within a month's town. I am hungry for a candy bar. I think I'll eat a mouse.
Homer, you're doing drugs. Nah, and now I'm guilty of possession. I could go to prison. Unless I testify against you.
Marge, it's making my eyes better. And it's legal. I could walk up to the president and blow smoke in his stupid monkey face. And he'd just have to sit there grooving on it.
Color sky, Havana Lake. Color sky, rose carmethine. Alizari and crimson. Where you love like heaven. Where you love like heaven. Where you love like heaven.
Hello?
Marge, I just realized I am the ow in the word now. And if you tell anyone...
Honey, I like it when you call, but we just talked 5 minutes ago. Hang on, I've got call waiting. Hello?
Hey, it's me. I got Marge in the other line, and she is totally bumming me out.
Oh.
Hello, YouTube. Hello, everyone. Good evening, YouTube land, and good evening, AgeCase.
Good evening. How you doing?
Are we there, Age?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Hello, yeah, 1 2 1 2, check.
1 2
Guys,
1 2.
how's the quality? How's the sound, guys? Put 5 times 5 in the chat.
If you can hear me and local, we're doing all right.
Hello, everybody in the chat. We've got 18 people in the house. Big up to 18 legends in the house. We've got 5 times 5. Hello, Jake Awade. Hello, Ananaku, Batman, Nubian, AgeCase. You're in the chat as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Rutherford, Matty. Hello, Matty. We've got Vanished. Hello, mate. Thank you for joining the stream, guys. Before we start talking about medical cannabis, let's all put 1 in the chat if you've bashed the like button, and I'll give you all a shout out. If you can, guys, share the stream to your Telegrams, your Discords. Get some guests on the panel. Get some guests on the panel that medicinal cannabis users. Oh shit, I forgot about the ones. My chat's going crazy. Okay, so let's start it off. AgeCase. Yes, mate. Mrs. J, hello. Futoy. Nice to see you, mate. Batman says, been practicing myself an ounce a week for the last 25 years. Yes. Is it medicinal, or is it from down the road. We've got Rufferland here, Maple Thorpe, Matty England, Vanished, Batman, Sean, Vanished, Mrs. J, Recording Reality, Jake Away Day. And Anna Q says, what if we just like being stoned? That is a debatable question, an argument that you can have on the panel.
It's like people are allowed to go and get drunk. So yeah.
This is it, exactly.
But this is more medicinal, isn't it, I suppose? We've done a show about cannabis, like weed.
We have done, yeah, the illegal substance, and now we're doing the legal substance. Hello, Milwana. Close this window.
So the history of it, I don't know. I think it was discovered like by Western medicine or people in sort of Europe and America in the 1830s from India. They were smoking it in India or using it in teas and stuff for thousands of years. China,
Well, yeah.
Egypt, Greece.
So you say it's the history goes back thousands of years. It does. It goes back to the ancient times.
Yeah.
Ancient physicians used to mix cannabis into medicines to treat pain and other alignments.
I think they've even found it in sarcophaguses of like Egyptian kings and that. So that's 3,000 years, I suppose, maybe.
I learned recently this week watching binge watching YouTube and some conspiracy channels that the history that we have is about 200 to 300 years old paper wise. We don't have anything hard that says like any paperwork beyond 300 years available to the public. So that being said, the 19th century is where medical cannabis became popular in our history. It goes back to ancient times, but it popularized in the 19th century.
I was going to say, and then it was restricted in, well, the UK in 1928, probably in America the same. And they started changing the laws. Would that be because of its many uses, not just for like medicine, but industrial? Do you think they banned it or lobbied governments to ban it?
Well, my notes here, it says medical cannabis was not medical, but cannabis was introduced for therapeutic treatments. There were at least 2,000 medical cannabis medicines prior to 1937. We've got another guest at the back. We'll bring the guests in a little bit. The guest that joined. We've got another guest waiting as well. We're going to bring him on in a bit. Yeah.
I think the earliest evidence of consumption is 2,500 years old in Asia.
What,
So,
2,500 what? BC?
years old. That's some of the oldest consumption of cannabis that they know. But they were probably using it before then. Definitely.
Yeah. There's a lot of things in the world that they keep from us. And one is cannabis, you know. Well, if we talk about the illegal side, we went through this before, how they criminalized it and stuff like that, and put ethnic groups at the center of cannabis problems.
I think someone in the chat mentioned a quote to a film, Reefer Madness. Sean E. That was it. Yeah, that like changed a lot of people's opinions on it back in the 30s, I think it was.
Oh, we've got another guest at the back as well. We'll bring guests on in a short while. Yeah.
Even Chinese emperors drank it as tea to help with many problems, medicinal problems that it could have helped with.
Yeah, the ancients, humans were very experimental, you know, and this is why we got what we got today. It's because of the ancient lot, you know, like wheat, rice, flour, all of that stuff.
Isn't that theory the stoned ape theory, where they went round and accidentally ate mushrooms and shit? It's probably the same with cannabis. We just started eating it or something, and same with coca leaf. Start eating it, you get a little I don't know, feeling from it, and then down the line someone thinks, oh, why don't I try and smoke it?
Yeah, I heard. Well, yeah. When I was looking at the research, ancient Egyptians, it goes back far. All the Middle East, all throughout Europe, Central Asia, all across Asia. They used to have cannabis. Everyone used to use cannabis, but then in the 90s, they criminalized it, you know, for some reason, for money.
Wasn't it put down to a class B at some point for a few months or whatever? Or they were thinking about it. But that's a little bit later on, UK medicinal cannabis market and the laws and stuff in it. So yeah, people probably discovered later on that it was good for pain.
Yeah.
And then it probably became widespread use by people, villages, and all that.
Bill Warner said, sorry, Age gone.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Now, I was going to say Milwana. He says, I don't use medical cannabis, but I use cannabis medically. What do you say to that?
Well, I'd say when I was a young kid, like 14, 15, I started smoking weed just because I started smoking weed. And then I suppose as you get older and I don't know, you play football or something, you get an injury, and then it becomes of use. Or when you get the flu or something and you're ill in bed, it can be of use. It can, and then also you find out that it's helping kids with seizures and a lot of other people with many different types of things. So it's not
Yes.
just getting high with when you're a young kid.
Yeah, when you say seizures and stuff like that, one of the guests that we got at the back, he is a medical cannabis user. So we can ask him a few questions about why he's decided to go the legal way, and how has it helped him, you know, if he's in any pain or if he's suffering with any sort of disorders, and it's calmed him down since taking certain cannabis strains that are not available to the public because
Batman's just put a good
not
thing.
available.
Is there a difference between medical cannabis and street cannabis? Well, I'd say the medical cannabis is licensed by the government, and street cannabis is like gangs and suppose your local mate who's just grown it. That's probably the difference.
Matty England, he says he applied for UK prescription last week. Fantastic. The guy that we'll bring on now, I'll bring him in on now. He is DeWitt.
Hello.
Hello, DeWitt.
Hello. How's it going?
Good, man. How you doing?
Yeah, good. I just someone asked about what the difference is. One of the difference with the medical, you know, the legal route, is that our cannabis is irradiated before we get it, you know, to make sure there's no mold or anything on it. I think it's a bit
Okay.
overkill, but yeah, and I think that takes away some of the taste. So, you know, that could be but the biggest difference is I know what the THC level is and CBD level. Most people don't know, do they? Or
No.
so.
Yeah, I just go to the guy, pay him, take it off him, and that's it, done.
Yeah. You're looking to know what strain it is, aren't you? You know, if you remember to ask.
Yeah. You've got a menu
You rarely can be lucky to get someone who knows someone that's growing it, or
Yeah. I used to be a grower, so I know plenty of growers, if you know what I mean. And I suppose it is the circle, isn't it? If he was into cars,
yeah.
he has to get a car. But I think there's that many people using it now. I think someone knows someone, don't they, generally. To get there first.
So how long have you been with medical cannabis, DeWitt?
I signed up for it not long after lockdown, and it was struggling to get stuff with people being, you know, locked down, and it was getting harder to get stuff.
What do you mean?
I didn't run out, but it was still harder to have choice. If you know what I mean, there was less to choose from during lockdown. So, and it was hit and miss. You know what I mean? And to me, it's a handy time, really. So I thought, yeah, it is dearer going the legal route. Like I probably spend more now than what I did on the illegal market. I look at it as I think I'm paying for a license to use cannabis, really, rather than
Yeah.
I get certain
you
legal
get-
protections as well by if I'm ever caught out of the
Yeah,
house, or if
yeah.
the police ever come here, and
You can
say if
carry it on
someone,
you as well.
you can, but there are limitations. I think. I think
Yeah.
they like it to be kept in its prescribed
I was at
container.
I was at a protest once, and
Yeah.
I had a joint in my hand, and then the police rolled up next to me.
Yeah.
So the guy next to me said, "Here's a cannabis licensee. I should give it to him." So I gave it to him, and they didn't do anything.
That's mad, isn't
Like, he's got a medical license, and
Yeah. I think someone was on about they might be bringing in for the people who use it medically, that they'll insist on us vaporising it. That's no problem for me. I'll vaporise anyway, but that
Right.
could be a big problem to if they do bring that in.
Yeah.
But
So
again, it's down for the people to demand their rights really again.
so this is a move I've been reading with the medical cannabis.
Yeah.
They're moving towards more vaping it than rolling it in a joint.
Yeah.
Why is that?
It's to do with dosage control. Like I started vaporising because you get more bang for your money. If you know when you smoke a spliff or in a bong, you waste about 70% of it because it's too hot.
Yeah.
When you vape it, you get 90. They reckon 90. Over 95% of the THC that's available you'll get from a vaporizer. So you're not wasting any.
So what you're saying is, when you light a joint and it's burning, while it's burning, it's wasting.
But the first drag of your spliff, when you're pulling the flame through it, the amount of heat that's in that first bit will get rid of most of the a lot of the THC because of that first flash thing, if you know what I mean.
Wow, yeah.
And then every drag you take, I think it's something over 2,000 degrees the burn.
Wow.
Whereas THC starts about 175, doesn't it? So it don't need to be that hot. So with vaping, the best advantage with vaping is taste. That's the biggest.
Someone put in the chat, is there a difference between the street price and the government prices or license prices? Or is that you don't have to answer that?
Yeah, there is. But per gram, the medical weed starts at £5 per gram and goes up to £13 something a gram. So depending on what strain you want or what you need, and what's in as well, because a lot of the time everything's out of stock. So you do. There's always plenty of Kush. I'm not a Kush fan, but there's always plenty of that.
I like Kush.
Yeah, a lot of people do. It is good medicinal. It's a taste thing as well for me.
I'm not a huge fan of the hazes, but more of the Kushes.
Yeah.
And some people are the opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all subjective, and it's all a matter of taste.
We got another guest at the back that is also got a medical card for cannabis. We'll let her on in a bit and have her say, and then we'll let the other guests join the panel.
Can you have 6? Is it 6 or?
Yeah, I can have 6. Yeah.
Right.
Like there you're on about cost. One of the biggest differences in cost is some clinics. There's a big choice of clinics. There's about 36 to 38 clinics now. Each one will charge something different. Some charge for a prescription, so each month you'll have to pay £30 for a prescription. But some, there's only a few that don't charge, so you won't pay for the prescription. But you have to then you pay for your first consultation, which can be anything from £50 to £150 again, depending on which clinic you go to, and then every 4 months it's you have to pay. You have to have an appointment. It's like an assessment. They just make sure everything's okay, and then cost between 50 and I paid again the bottom 50, but some people pay over 100 for that consultation as well. But I use them moments to change my prescription, and just every 3 months have that.
Some people in the chat are complaining about the smell and the quality of medical cannabis compared to street cannabis. Do
Yeah,
you find that there's a difference?
yeah.
Oh,
I've got to admit, I am disappointed on that side of it. You know what I mean? Again,
really?
you can only think it's because it's starting off, and the more people do it and use it, they've got to improve.
But hold on. But you're not doing it just to get high, are you? You're doing it for an actual a medical reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but part of it's called the entourage effect. So it's not only the THC that is the medicine part and the CBD.
Sure.
There's hundreds of component, stuff in cannabis, loads of different cannabinoids and terpenes, and they all do something different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I find the zestiness of some of the sativas, I prefer them for the day, but they're really hard to find on the medical weed. They're quite dull tasting.
Hello, Mrs. J.
Oh, hello. Am I on?
Hello.
Yes.
Hello. I wasn't going to
Good
come
evening.
on. I wasn't going to come on, but then I thought I would because I'll bring a different perspective than DeWitt.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you're another cannabis medical holder.
I am.
So how's your time with it?
I think. Well, my pain and my seizures have changed dramatically taking medical cannabis. I was using cannabis without realizing for a condition I had before. So I didn't realize that's what I was doing it for now, but now I know it's that.
Yeah.
And then the cannabis that I have now, it's like DeWitt said, I have a sativa in the day that it's sort of a get your shit done type thing.
Yeah.
It does this sort of get your shit done, but it also removes that horrific pain that I have. And the last major seizure I had was at Christmas, and that was because I did too much anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, I was having seizures every day. And I have twitches still.
When you say you was having seizures every day and twitches, weren't you on other medication?
I was on just smoking my own stuff, and on full-on medication. But my medication my pain medication is halved since I started taking the medical cannabis. And my journey is slightly different because when I have my interview every 4 months, when I pay £50, by the way, my next one is due next month. Because of the complexity of my injuries and my pain management, I'm much more limited as to what medications I can have because I have the complexity of having the neurological disorder from the accident, and then I have the complexity of the pain from the accident. So so when DeWitt and I talk about it, he's like, oh yeah, I've had this one, and I'm like, oh, I keep asking if I can just try something different because the sativa one's really shit, the flavors are really shit. And when I said at the last interview, is there any way we can kind of change that one because it just tastes horrible? And she said, well, you're having it for your medical reasons, you know. And I said, yeah, I know. But is there anything? Was there anything just to sort of...
Yeah, they didn't say that to me, but I said, what about the entourage effects? And like they don't really know much. That's the thing. A lot of the doctors who are prescribing this, they don't really know much about it.
They don't know much about any of the drugs they prescribe.
No, they're just following the guidelines, really.
Type in your symptoms, and this is what you're entitled to, type thing.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely paying less. But I mean, I grew as well.
Yeah.
But down here, it's really expensive. You know, it's really expensive down here. So yes, I've saved money. And the thing that's changed, and the thing that I wish I could get hold of all the time, is the oil. And the oil price is insanely expensive, but it's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing that I found really bizarre when I had my assessment, and they did loads of stuff, and they did like they go to your doctor and they ask your doctor about your medical conditions and confirming that you have these medical conditions, etc. And I can't remember what I was going to say after that because I've forgotten my thread. It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, but they don't actually talk to your doctor. All they want is the records, the summary care records, because our doctors aren't allowed to talk to them because it's NHS. So, like my doctor, you know, who I normally see, I'm not allowed to. He don't want to know really about the cannabis.
Oh, whereas mine does.
Yeah,
Mine does know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so does my OT.
But I think it comes in with more the hospitals, you know, because if you have like anaesthesia or what do you call it, you know, for different cancer treatments, then I think it affects, because it goes through the liver, it affects how you use other drugs. So I think they want to know then, if you know what I mean, especially with the oil, because it can make the other drugs that you're taking, it can interact with them.
Yeah, the counter contradictions, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing with cannabis it does go hand in hand with so much that, and I think that's why and where they've gone really, really wrong with all of this. Having the oil, I think you were talking about history earlier. You know, having the oil that I've had that's been created for me, that stuff, it literally goes under my tongue and my whole mouth is numb immediately. So that tells you how quickly it numbs the pain. It just, you know, and if you remember a couple of weeks ago, I was in agony, and then my oil arrived, and then this week it took about 5 days for it to kick in. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I can stand up again and, you know, sit down and stand up. Yeah, it's magic. It's magic, honestly. It's magic.
Mr. J, so have you transitioned completely from pill-based medicine to cannabis-based medicine?
Oh, do I buy locally, if you mean?
No, have you transitioned from pills medicine?
Oh no, because I still have to have, unfortunately, I'm one of those unfortunate people who has been pumped with my story is not a nice one, you know, but I'm being pumped with pregabalin because they've got nothing else to give me, because I'm on a waiting list to see the pain clinic so I can actually have the correct medication. And I've been waiting 1.5 years now. So I can't have any other medication given to me by my doctor. It has to all go through the pain clinic so that it all matches up because of this counter contradictions things. And then I have to do neuro-linguistic programming along with it at the same time.
So
I have seen the pain clinic. I'm still waiting to see the pain clinic. That is a very hard and daily thing I have to ignore, the fact that I still haven't seen them yet because I need injections into my back, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
So that says a lot then, what you just said. You can't take any other pill-based medicine, but you can take
Yes.
cannabis-based medicine, you know?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So I can't
That
have
says a lot.
anything else. There's nothing else I can have. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
if I have something like morphine, which is what I was taking before I went over to the medical cannabis,
Wow.
that is absolutely vile stuff.
Yeah.
What the difference is between the taking morphine and the cannabis, I thought about this. It's been a long winter. I thought about this, and the difference is, you know, when I try and explain to people that I have to live at the moment because of my situation day by day. Yeah. So today's today when I get through that day. So I know what my week ahead is because I look at my diary, but today's today because I'm, you know, I have to just deal with today. And when you have an
Okay, sure.
opioid, so
Yeah.
when you have an opioid, it's
Oh,
today's
opioid.
today and you are monged out. But I tell you what, you still are in pain,
Yeah.
but you don't give a shit about it, and you go in a
Okay.
loop all day with that
Wow.
cycle going, this is really fucking painful. Oh fuck, I don't give a shit about it. This is really, and it literally is on a spiral all day. But with cannabis, what it does is it reduces your pain, it makes you calmer, it makes you more collected, especially with the sativa in the day, and it allows you to, it's so bizarre, it allows you to cope with the pain in that moment, and then the next day arrives, and for me,
Yeah.
I can't think about it. It makes me not think about my previous pain, but with
Sure.
an opioid, with taking morphine, you remember that pain. What does that make sense to you, Dewitt? Because we've got different pains, haven't we? But
Yeah, man. As long as I don't do anything, I can get away quite pain free. My problem's when I do something, if you know what I mean. And I say if I know I've got to go out, I'll end up having to take more painkillers. And but if I stay in, I won't bother with the painkillers. I'll just medicate and take it easy, if you know what I mean. And I say my life's probably changed from when I first had the accident.
yeah.
There was little as to cause pain.
But do you see that pain thing like me? Do you feel that?
If I overdo things, and you know,
Yeah.
and again, it's when I say overdo things, it's washing up at a sink and
I know, my love.
having
I
to
get
stand,
it.
make a
Yeah.
cup of tea or
Yeah.
prepare food. It's them mad things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, so
Like today for me, right? I had to. My shop's only about 20. My little local shop's only about 20, 30 yards away, right? And I had to go and get some milk, and I've got a walking stick, so I walked up there, and I'd left my wallet at home, so I had to come back down, get my wallet, and then go back up again. And by the time I come back, my foot's enormous. Yeah, I have to raise it up because of the shooting pains that goes in it, and it's just all like, oh fuck's sake, you know. And then I light a joint, and I go, fuck you, pain. I'm
yeah,
gonna
it makes that the
crazy shit.
transitions from from pain to it kind of takes your mind off it more than
Yeah,
pure pain, if you know what I mean. It's
yeah,
just
yeah,
more of a distraction.
yeah.
But again,
My mind
it's
goes
subjective,
off
and
on
I
it.
suppose everyone's different again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So what about you, Dewitt? Have you completely transitioned from pill-based medicine to cannabis-based medicine?
No, I take a lot less pills now. I say, and then mostly as a needs must, if you know. Whereas before, I'd straight away I'd have a pill. But I was smoking. You know, I've always smoked since I was younger, just not as much then. And I grew. And when I grew, I stopped using tobacco, and I started smoking pure. But then when I stopped growing and moved, I couldn't no longer smoke pure spliff, so I went to the vaporizer. So it's always just adapted, really.
The vapes are amazing.
Yeah. Well, with the vape as well, you get to use the vape bud to make butter. So then you make to edibles from the, you know. Well, so not only do you vape, you get edibles as well, which bonus. Chocolate's cookie.
Mrs. J, you're new to the vaping side to cannabis. How do you feel about it from a spliff to now vape?
I love vaping. I love it. It's such a nice hit. It's really, there's no heat to it, and then you're up there with your imagination in a split second. It's great. You know, I think it's really good. It's just the flavour of the sativa.
it does take people who smoke a spliff. It's quite hard to go to a vaporizer straight away, if you know what I mean. And when I smoked spliffs, I had vapes, and I could never stick to it, and there was never enough volume of smoke, if you know what I mean, because you don't smoke, it's a vapor. Yeah, it doesn't seem that it's there. So a lot of that must, it must be psychological. You think I'm not getting anything here, and it doesn't feel the same.
I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, well, I know what you're talking about.
But if you can get the right vaporizer and try it, and you got to put it on its highest temperature, and it is more smoky, so it's not really vaping because it's that hot. But it's enough to turn to vaporizing.
Yeah, my indica, my Hindu Kush is really delicious, and then I've got like this cookie one, and then the other one that I keep forgetting the name of, the one that I don't like the flavor of very much.
The dye one.
Yeah.
I think which one would it be?
What's everyone in the chat got?
What you got? What you got in the chat? What you got?
I'm behind in the chat. Oh wow!
I think I've got.
Oh, here we go.
I got Amnesia and a bit of Stardog and a bit of this other stuff called Mac One.
So Amnesia is more of a dye one for me.
Yeah, Kush Haze.
So good.
And can't remember the other one.
At the minute, I've got some powdered donuts.
Powdered donuts. Never heard of that one.
The Pink Frost again. It's another. It's a Kush hybrid. I ain't too keen, but being a hybrid, it ain't that bad. But everyone's mad on the Kush.
Do you think it'll get to the point where we'll have dispensaries like America?
Yeah, but I think that's the way it's going. We seem to have gone the dispensary route. I hope they let us medical users grow, and I might have to think of growing again if they let us, do that.
I agree with that. I think we should be allowed to grow 2 plants each.
And if they're worried about what we're going to grow, they can always provide us with the cuttings.
Yes, that is a good idea.
You have to think about also there's people that haven't got the time or the experience or the know-how about growing.
But that's where I think the cannabis clubs will happen. Yeah, like in Spain and Portugal, where the cannabis clubs took over.
That's what they should have.
And again, that's probably because of distrust of government.
Everyone should be allowed to grow 2 plants. You don't have to grow 2 plants, but you should be allowed to.
Well, it's only a
Germany.
plant, so really, anyone should be able to go to B&Q and be able to buy cuttings of anything.
Plants, for God's sake.
Germany recently allowed it free per household.
Well, as soon as you do that, the price comes down. Because that's what happened in America. The price has come down because everyone's buying legal weed because that's low.
Yeah, everyone grows it. That's the
that'd be good to get someone
competition.
on who goes to American
Supply and demand, and as soon as they legalise it, loads of people started growing it, and there's more than you need, so the price comes down.
If anyone wants to join the panel, you can do. All the guests left, but you can rejoin now if you want. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, did I bore them, local?
No. They left.
We've got
before
22
you joined.
watching. More people here now.
Then I played it, lady roller.
Hello to everyone in the chat.
I'm liking some of
Don't
these
forget
names.
to bash the like button.
It's like, you're using about seizures and that as well, and epilepsy. Like a lot of the medical stuff did come from a girl called, because of her, Charlotte Figge. It was a girl in America, and she was having over 50 seizures a day. And she weren't living her life. You know what I mean? She couldn't learn, couldn't go to school. Her parents had no life with her, and they got in touch with some growers, and they had a plant that was high in CBD, low in THC, and they named it after Charlotte's Web. And so she lived until she was 13. She had more of a life after, when she's using the cannabis oil, but she died during COVID. COVID got her.
Oh, man.
Early COVID. So, but it was her family and the people. I can't remember the name of the company now. It was Charlotte's Web, but they did a lot of work, and giving it to medical patients, and it's CBD and the oil. It's done mad things for the kids, and that's what brought it over here, isn't it? And parents were getting stopped at the borders.
Jersey Royal Sniffer. No, we at the middle. I think now we are the yellow bit, the yellow chapter, almost.
What are we up to?
Let's move over to UK medicinal cannabis market. Age, are you there?
I think the biggest like grow house in the UK is in Scotland. They've got this massive grow house. Yeah.
We've got one in Birmingham as well. They've built one in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I think you've got like lords and the aristocracy that own big chunks of land, and they've got the monopoly on this like medicinal cannabis at the minute.
Yeah.
So they want to keep it as long as possible, I suppose, before the American, like the big weed companies come in and it's legalized and everything. You know what I mean?
But there's a whole big market there, isn't there? That's untapped over here.
Yeah.
From each supplying each part of it, from the from the plants, the mothers, to the growing equipment.
They'd give so much money, like in tax, I reckon, cannabis would.
Yeah.
And also you'd get like all these big, like the cross-county drug lines and all that. All them would like just disappear after a few weeks because there'd be no point for them.
I don't know if they'd disappear because they'd go into something else, wouldn't they? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Better earn money
Yeah,
somewhere
the
else.
problem America has is the federal law against the state law. So the federal law says it's illegal, and the states' law are breaking the states are breaking the federal law by going, fuck you, we're going to do it because you're making shit up. This stuff works. And that's what's happening in America at the moment.
That's more so
The
under the
federal law is
Republicans, though, isn't it?
Huh?
That was more so under the Republicans. I think the Democrats have told the
that's
federals to
still,
lay off.
still pretty like that now, I believe. I could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Yeah, but I think the Democrats have told them to, let the states sort their own shit out. I don't think they want to get involved.
Faff, yeah, it'd be just too much of a massive faff.
And you've got more and more states voting to legalise it.
Giving those illegal, horrible drugs to people for years and years and years.
Legalising something that isn't actually unlawful. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello,
I am really high. Who's that?
this is Millie. Yeah.
Hello. Good evening, sir.
Hi. How's it going, local?
Good, man.
Yeah.
Good.
What gets me about this is like, you guys were like saying, oh, we should be able to grow a couple of plants and like, but like, Philip May, Theresa May's husband, he's been like making money out of this for like years. He's been like growing weed and like selling it to Europe, and they're like
Canada,
then turning it back into medicinal cannabis and selling it back to the government. It's a big money spinning thing.
That's what I'm saying. Like
they love laundering. They love laundering their own money.
Yeah, totally. And like, this whole medicinal cannabis thing is just a big scam. It's like they're taking, and like I hear you saying, they're taking things out of it that like is what the bit of it that we enjoy.
I think that's just my experience of it. Because of my complex needs, I have to have a specific type of weed that does everything that I need it to do. Well, in fact, I have 3 different types of weed, and then I have the oil. That's my round robin sort of thing. And
we all know our needs, but like, I mean,
yeah, but it's different to street. The best stuff I've had on the street is absolutely 100% organically grown soil, outdoor is your way forward. That is what.
And then we talk about on the street. It's like, well, is it on the street or is it somebody who actually grows fucking pucker weed?
Oh yeah, I know growers. So, yeah.
Yeah, like we all do. Like, I mean, we've all dabbled and done this and that, and like, but
it's like a whole infrastructure they're building.
It's regulation, and
regulation and
to do in medicine, they want you to have a dosage. So like, I'm
making money out of it, like, and.
But to call it a medicine, to protect you by law, like they want you to. If you're going to call it a medicine, they want to have a dose, and that's hard to do if you don't know what THC or CBD you've got. You know what
exactly,
I mean?
Yeah.
And it's a mad legal thing. If you know, I think on my the tub that you get, I think it said 0.1 to 0.2. As and when needed, up to a gram a day.
I mean, it depends on the way that you take it. But I know somebody who's got like is it a license like for prescription cannabis, and he gets like a big bag of. Well, he's got a choice of several different weeds, and he gets like a bag, and like he can take it with him, and he can smoke it. He shouldn't smoke it. He should vape it. But like, if you're in an emergency and your vape is fucked, you've got to smoke it. And like, okay, you can get away with that if you get caught. So you can go around smoking joints everywhere, but it doesn't fucking hit the mark. I've been smoking weed for like years. I don't smoke so much now as I used to. But that shit doesn't hit the mark. Like,
I disagree.
Okay.
I really do, because it's changed my life. Because I was so ill a year ago.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
downhill so badly because of the situation that I was in with all the fucking accident and everything, right? And this stuff, I was having seizures every day, every day.
I'm so
Like,
pleased
no,
for you that
my last
that's
seizure was at Christmas, and that is, I'm gonna get emotional. That's changed my life.
awesome,
I'm able
man.
to sit here now and have a conversation with you.
Woman,
Some
sorry.
days I can't do that. Some days I can't talk. Some days I get all my words muddled up because of my neurological things. It's my accident. But this, they've got it right at the best that they can do at the moment. And I'm privileged to say that.
I was gonna say it's not ideal. It's nowhere near ideal, is it? But it's better than what. Honestly, like, I'm so shocked for us to even start doing it. Like I was 20 years ago saying, "Oh, well, they're going to be legalising it soon." Fucking hell, nothing's ever happening. And it comes and goes, and nothing ever happens.
Right.
And it's helped a lot of families that don't smoke weed like us lot.
Yeah.
So it's helped like kids that they wouldn't ever smoke it, so they ingest it or something.
Yeah.
And that's probably because of the procedure they've put into creating, like. And I know that they do want to make money out of patients, obviously, all these big pharma companies, but I think the medicinal cannabis side of it is good in a way. They're putting them first before they legalize it for everyone else, which I believe.
Because the thing we've got to remember is, if it was left to MPs, we wouldn't have none of this. This is doctors opening their own clinics.
No. Why can Philip May grow fucking a big fucking greenhouse full of cannabis, sell it to?
Well, it is a shareholder, a shareholder and a chair on the chair. Or something.
How can he do that? And I can't grow a couple of plants at home for myself, or you can't, or any of us can't. But he can fucking buy a big greenhouse and fill it full of fucking cannabis and sell it to the EU, who then sell it back to us, and taxpayers are paying for it. It's what the fuck is going on in this world, man?
They've just got the licenses, haven't they? They were probably
Where does
dishing
the
out a
license
few
come
licenses.
from? Who do you ask for a license? I mean,
it's like the VIP loans with COVID. It's the same people dishing them out. You know what I mean?
No, this whole fucking system is on its head. Everything needs to be turned upside down, and maybe you get to the bottom of wow, fuck, man, it's bizarre. I just can't get my head round.
Who would it be? It'd be the
things
Home
are
Office
in this world today, man.
And I think Theresa May was the head of the Home Office at one point.
I'm gonna drop out of this chat and just listen, because this is fucking bizarre, man. See you guys. I'm gonna carry on listening.
Yeah, enjoy.
I will. See you guys.
Man.
But I'm listening, man. This is fucked up.
It is.
Yeah.
Sundays.
That
was cool. He's right about Theresa May's husband.
It's the money system, when he is talking about the money going back and forth, the money that they send, it doesn't go into their pocket, it goes straight back into the bank. And then they take out money from the bank and then pay you. It's just the money system. That's totally different. We spoke about that on another stream before, the monetary system.
Apparently, the UK is one of the world's largest producers of legal cannabis.
That is correct.
Mostly
right.
CBD. A lot of what we do is CBD.
95 tons was produced in 2006, and this accounted for 44% of the world's total. Wow. That's a competitor with Canada, the second largest.
Illegal in this country in 2006 as well, and it's shocking.
But that's a weird thing, the weed that we get on the medical thing, it can be grown in Canada and packed in Australia and then shipped to here, or grown in Jamaica packages in Spain and then come in, and
They
that's
do
all
that with
over the place.
everything.
It's stuff over here. You know what I mean? There's always two
They do that
countries and
with
then back.
everything. Yeah. Like grow grapes in Argentina, pack them
Yeah.
in Thailand,
Yeah.
send them to America, then ship them over to the UK.
But it's mad that once you've grown it, to send it somewhere to pack, because you've got to cut it down and pack it.
It's just cheaper to send it somewhere and pack it
Yeah.
rather than do it in the UK where people want minimum wage or whatever. It's
Weird, isn't it?
you can pay them half the price in Asia.
Yeah, that's very true.
I say years ago when I first went to Holland and seen their medical system, and I was irradiating their weed, and I thought that's I can understand what they're doing, but it's fucking weird. No need for it. But again, it's that trying to get a product that's got a grade, so they know what THC and.
See, the thing is, right, THC is a thing that's changed me. And when I did all my quiz and all that thing that you have to do when you join and everything, I thought they were going to be saying, "Oh yes, you need high CBD, especially because of the seizures." But she said, "No, I need a really high THC instead." So I have. Sorry, excuse the bike going past. Yeah, I had. So I have a really high THC. Yeah. And I can have higher, but I just can't afford it. That's the thing. You know, when you add it all up each month, you pay the amount you pay each month for it all. You know, I could have a lot more. They're quite happy for me to have more. It's just I just can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is a shame.
You need to start saving up your vape stuff, and making your edibles.
I do. Yeah, I do. We're doing that next week, actually. That's part of our Sunday thing.
Do you reckon one day they'd add sort of like a budget to say PIP or something like that for cannabis for people that have like?
Well, how they do it is
I don't know.
When your PIP money comes in, that's when you can pay. You pay for your. That's when your script's due. So they do it the same day as your PIP, so that you can use your PIP money for buying the weed. That's how they do it. Yeah, it would be. No, what would be good is if they actually just made it on the NHS. That's what would be good.
I think they will do for epilepsy, like they do on the NHS for epilepsy and that. I mean, it's really hard to get it on the NHS. I think it'll go. I think once people start going, the price is going to come down, and once the prices come down, it gets harder and harder to regulate. If you know what I mean, the regulation will get softer and softer generally. Because our government don't like paying for regulation, do they? If you know what I mean. So what normally starts off gets stripped back.
Not the Tories don't, anyway.
But they'll demand it at first. But then
the global market for medical cannabis was valued at $6 billion in 2020. However, and is projected.
Just the UK is that? It's got to be.
No, this is the global.
Really?
Yeah. Because I see the US, it only made like 3 billion in 2020.
Only.
Yeah. Now it's making more. So this number is set to rise to 53 billion by 2030.
Yeah.
So that's almost 10 times more.
They've got to look at. I mean, America is in an absolute dire situation with their drugs over there, you know, and the drug addiction situation over there is really bad. And if we can move those people off that pharmaceutical onto a natural, like DeWitt was saying, he's all right. You know what I mean? I'm all right. I'm having a
Yeah.
conversation. I'm fine. But like, if we can do that, then this whole global money situation that's going on with it, all with the big pharma and everything, and the C word, this could be amazing. This could be fantastic. This could be so brilliant. This could be just what the world needs. Is a big hug by a massive marijuana leaf would do the world a whole world of good. It would get people off
But
the
then
fucking
there's people
drugs.
against it who say, it smells or it blah blah blah, it makes people lazy. Or what about those people that are against it?
There's no evidence. Like I think a couple of months ago, they've gone through all the things again, and generally, all the things where they said that stoners are lazy.
Yeah.
A lot of the people who was involved in them studies were young teenagers who
are lazy anyway.
Yeah, so it was, there were students who were signing up for the thing. So they said that they might probably have been like that anyway.
You have to also consider that the same people are the opposite to myself on my view on this. Yeah, it's like them being angry with me about smoking weed, and me being angry at them for providing morphine and pre-gab everywhere. So it's like there's always going to be that conflict anyway. Between people. Oh, we don't want to be doing that. Oh no.
And any problems we've got at the minute with cannabis, it's the illegal market that it's on in it, and so anything that's happening, it's the trouble of the illegal market.
That's what I'm thinking.
JJ Stone has commented, do local doctors give out medical cannabis cards?
No.
How does it work?
Google medical cannabis clinics UK, and you'll get a list, and then it's just going through the list and finding how much you want to pay. Because each one I think there's 36 to 39 at the minute, different clinics, and they'll all have a different pricing scheme.
Is that all based in the UK?
Yeah. And it's all phone based as well, so you don't actually go and see a doctor. It's an interview online.
So you don't even see the doctor. It's all face to face.
But you do like a Zoom call with them. So
a Zoom call.
And when you first get in touch with them, you give them permission to ask your surgery, where your doctor is, to see your summary care records.
Yeah.
And and the doctor can't refuse that. You can get them from your NHS direct line. They're part of your. I told my doctor, I said, why I wanted it for, but it doesn't really matter. Like I say, they weren't bothered. We said that they can't comment anyway. So
mine was happy that I was doing it.
Yeah. And it as long as what they're looking out for really is, as long as you ain't got, I think they're just careful if you've got schizophrenia, obviously mental illnesses, past history, and I think they're just making sure that they don't get caught out.
I think this is the thing that the guest that we had on earlier speaking about marijuana, Millie. He said that they take out certain components of the strain, the weed. I think this is for the schizophrenia and stuff like that, bipolar and stuff like that.
Yeah, but they're going to be prone to it anyway. It might not necessarily be the cannabis that's the trouble, if you
like
know.
The mold and stuff in it, or the bugs that come along with it.
Yeah,
maybe.
again, it goes back to, I was using it before this. I've used it for a long time, 35 years, right? So I've always gone down the hash route because I feel like I've got more control over it. With the weed that was coming in the late 90s, this stuff was absolutely blowing people's heads off, in the late 90s, and then we all know, skunk
Yeah,
arrived.
but that's just overconsumption. It's like if you
This
have
is it. It was like
if you
hydro.
have whiskey, you don't drink a full bottle.
But you with it, you didn't know how strong this shit was. Do you know what I mean? And it really did knock a nation to the left for a bit, until they started really sort of manufacturing ones that were more creative, because everyone was absolutely wiped out. But the way in which they do it, I think it's clever. The way I have the one that makes me creative and alert, and then the one like the one I'm making now, which is chilled out, kind of like I'm going to have really nice dreams when I go to bed type thing. But I like the different ones. I do. What's the next question? What's the next one? What was your next question you had for us? What was on your list? Local. Do it.
Hello.
What's happened?
Local's gone for tea.
Has he passed out, do you think?
No. He's rolling a fatty.
I think everyone in the chat should shout local. Like they do on pantomime.
Am I back?
Oh, here he is.
Oh yeah, I was saying sorry. I didn't realize I was muted.
I love it.
I was saying, going back to the market, the UK market, but between 1 and 2 billion by 2024. They reckon.
That's just like the legal side of it.
Yeah, the legal side.
The illegal side's making. Plus, you got the accessories like grinders and rizzlers, and there's a whole like culture that goes with it.
I think the thing that will turn people to more the legal thing, and again, it was what took me more that way. It's a protection in law. You know what I mean? And it is totally different thinking your door ain't going to be kicked in. Imagine if you could grow legally, knowing you're not going to end up in court. The police ain't going to say, threaten your family if you don't admit to growing plants, and you ain't going to be used that way. And it's.
I'd definitely say yippee. I would, yeah. But I'm still going to stand by. I still think that we should be allowed to grow 2 plants.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Batman has commented, how much is medical cannabis?
For me, it's between £5 to £16 is what I can have.
Yeah.
£16 is full on amazing, sent from God's THC. This stuff is.
That's per gram, yeah.
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 And then you have the £5 gram, which is half, and it's always £5. It doesn't get any cheaper than that. So it doesn't matter how much you buy, it's still £5 a gram.
Yeah.
I buy 30 grams a month, and I buy half of that is £8 a gram, and half of that is £5 a gram. And then I would, if I could afford it, buy the oil every month, and that would cost me £150 a month if I wanted it. I can get it now. They've slightly. It's funny enough, actually. My last order, they've just changed it so you can buy lesser. Because before I could buy only buy 5 grams or 10 grams of the stuff, or like 15, 20, like that. But they've now changed it that you can buy less and you can order all through the month, which is a new thing for me. So the oil means I can buy the oil in smaller bottles. So just sort of keep it going that way, because I can't afford to pay £150 a month for the oil. It's just, I can't,
Oh, sorry, guys. Anarchy Television says he's grabbing a coffee, but he's watching, but he's pissed off because he's only got a small amount of cannabis left.
That's funny.
£16 a gram is 450
right.
pounds an ounce.
Yeah. This stuff is like the dog's bollocks of anything you've ever had in your life, ever. Stuff. I cannot remember the name of it, because I'm rubbish at stuff like that. Yeah. So it's £5 to £16 altogether, depending on what you want, But I can order.
Yeah.
So I can order now with my prescription. Like I have three different types of weed.
Yeah, you can order, like I'll get 15 grams CBD, 20 gram sativa, 20 or 30 gram, depending on what I want, of an indica.
Yeah. I'm entitled to have 30 grams is my prescription at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I've said I can't afford anymore. So there's no point putting my prescription any more than that, I can't.
Is it because I change each month? Mine's always different. So I'll use, not each month, each 3 months I change the thing. But I might miss a month in between,
Oh, Matty's asked a question. It's, as I said, it's sent from the gods, Matty. We're talking all round sent from the gods. That's what this stuff is. Yeah. Those vape pens, I do believe, from what I hear, are really good.
Yeah, but they're not proper THC.
Oh, there we go.
They're THC 8 and 10, aren't they? Which is made from CBD hemp plants.
You get like one of my mates. He makes loads of them himself.
Yeah.
You get people that make them themselves, isn't it?
Yeah. But the base is normally
glycerin or something.
Yeah. Vegetable glycerin, I think, and
yeah,
the other 2 types of glycerin. What's the other one? Oh. Vegetable glycerin.
I'm reading the chat. It's quite funny.
I can't read the chat.
I just put it on my phone to see what people are saying, and it's funny. I need to say that I did consider it, by the way. Whoever say that in the chat, but no.
The last couple of things, they've got a sativa in a day one, an old lemon haze skunk, but it's always out of stock. It's really hard to get. You fell asleep again, Local?
No, I'm here.
Are you eating?
No.
A lot of people say that all that, you know, like the imported California, like Mylar bags and all that are shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're nice. They're always overpriced, but
Yeah. Most of them are local dealers, haven't they? Repackaging it in. You
yeah,
get the
you can
packaging
get
off
proper
eBay.
sealed ones though, like delivered from actually America. But yeah, I know what you mean when like your dealer says, "Oh yeah, I got this from America." It's like, no, you didn't.
So let's move over to I think we covered the fourth one. So there was one question I asked you earlier on, D-Bit, and why are people put off by using maybe cannabis as a medicine? Is it because maybe it stinks?
Again, it's a lot of it's old prejudices, isn't it? The stuff they've heard. My granddad, when he was alive, he'd never have, you know, or even though all his kids and grandkids had tried cannabis, he just never try it, and it would have given him some benefit. You know what I mean? But he because the doctor wouldn't prescribe it. And most people who use cannabis now, we're all right. We can get by. We'll grow some. We'll buy some. It's the people who will never use, or you know, who could get benefits and they won't use it because it's illegal. I think that's the people who, you know, that's where the medical market is aimed at. I think.
Is there any anyone in the chat that doesn't smoke?
No is the answer to that.
Get out! No, I'm joking.
You muddled me up now. What I was gonna say? Yeah. So, is there any non-cannabis users in the chat that have maybe thought about using cannabis as a medicine, prescribed by the doctor, but has had doubts because of maybe what they've heard on the TV or the newspaper or radio, or maybe you've smelled it walking down the road and have said to yourself, "Oh, what a smell! Disgusting." That's what some people say. Oh, a disgusting smell.
Yeah, like some people genuinely don't like the smell of it.
Yeah.
But they don't really care if it's legal or not, or people smoke it.
They call them coppers.
Yeah.
As I said, there's people.
No,
there
some
that,
coppers smoke
you know,
it, I bet
don't
you.
like,
Yeah.
There's people there that don't like taking paracetamol, and then there's other people go, "Oh yeah, just take a paracetamol." You know, there's people that don't take aspirin. There's people that do take aspirin. It goes on and on and on. You know, there should be allowances. There should be allowances and education, and that's where the problem is with the society, is that my generation has been fed, and you know, we've been arrested and we've been imprisoned for half an ounce. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And so your generation is more smoking it than the festival circuit, etc., etc. So it's become more acceptable in society, and people just roll their eyes now, and the police do nothing now. You know, if you get caught, they do nothing now. You know, they don't. They can't be asked with it because they're saying that they're doing it.
Wow.
So those people that are prejudiced against it, then they need to be educated correctly to understand why this is beneficial. It's the same
Yeah.
with other natural medicines that aren't allowed to be talked about as well.
No. We can only talk about medicine.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Prescribed
why
from the
I'm
doctor.
not saying anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, no, please.
I have to give it
I will stop someone before they say it.
Yeah, I know. No,
'Cause
I
will
know that I'm
strike
not allowed
them.
to.
Yeah.
It's all right. It's fine. I'm fully aware of that. It does my head in, but yeah. I mean, it's
I will.
amazing we can actually have this conversation now because we wouldn't have been able to do this 20 years ago. Not including YouTube, but we wouldn't have been able to do this like open debate like this.
Well, no, it's still it's fine now, but it's still hard, with the censorship.
Yeah.
But the MPs are still saying the same thing as there was 20 years ago. we need to have a grown-up adult debate. That's what you're supposed to be doing, and you keep just talking about it. Nothing
And
ever
then
We need
gets
to have a
talked
war,
about the
total
actual debate.
overhaul of government and
Yeah.
and then the war happens, and then oil
everything.
happens, and another war happens, then an earthquake happens. Then the Queen dies.
Nothing's going to get sorted out whilst we've got the same establishment in control, isn't it?
It goes
We
back
might
to
be
that.
here in
old
20
chestnut.
years still going, oh, yeah, they might legalise it next year.
Yeah, that's what I don't think they will. I think it's the little victories, like the doctors setting up their own. And again, that was
Private.
just to help young patients who were having epilepsy to get it into the country. That's how they started. But once you're supplying for one, you need to supply to more to make it viable, don't you? You know what I mean? And I think Project 21 started then, and they was the first test. David Nutt.
Yeah. And he got sacked by the government, didn't he?
Yeah. So I tried to get on that first, Project 21, but it was all took up for the Thomas thing. So I was on like a side group too.
Yeah, that is true, Bagman. Some need the protection of the prescription for work, like if they have like a random drug test at work.
Yeah.
And you get.
And if you stop for driving, if you haven't got a a legal prescription, and you stop for thing and it's in your system, you can get prosecuted. But when you've got a medical prescription, you can't. It's like any medicine. You can't drive while intoxicated. So
Well, no, mine's different to that, Dewitt. Mine says,
is it?
Yeah, mine says, it's like be careful using operating machinery and
yeah, that's a basic thing, isn't it?
It doesn't say I can't do it. It
just says to be careful. But you would be prosecuted if you was in. It's lucky you can't get in a car if you had too much morphine or.
I can't drive now. God, anyway. And even if I was in less pain, I wouldn't drive because I'm so stoned all the time. There's no way I'd be looking at pretty flowers as I was driving along.
Sean E. Says he's replying to Bagman. Yep, that is true. It's choice, but as I said, it should not be put into the company's hands to get our weed from. We should be encouraged to grow our own from personal consumptions.
Definitely, that'd be ideal, really.
Well, absolutely.
Because then you'd have the protections as well. You know what I mean?
The nation,
and they can always supply the parts. The plants.
You could say that with everything, though. Like, we should be able to grow our own food, power our own houses.
Yeah.
But it's all about like distribution of wealth, isn't it? Again, the government ain't doing that.
That's why we can't grow our own weed.
Can't really afford it.
The benefits of that is massive. The benefits of growing our own weed is massive for the whole nation. You know, even if you're a drinker and you don't want it, or you do want it and you don't drink, or you know, old, young, you know, you could have it up at your local allotment. Do you know what I mean? It's just that's what happens in other countries. It's just growing naturally and stuff. But we can't. It's a pipe dream, though.
The Jersey Royal Sniffer says exactly the same thing about the driving. People using medically, not recreationally, might need to medicate and still be able to drive. I'm not
Yeah.
saying drive impaired, but it shows up on swab tests for weeks.
Yeah,
That's it. It
100%.
does, yeah.
Yeah.
You smoke one joint, it's in your system for about up to 70 days.
It's the longest one.
If you eat edibles, it's in there for months.
Yes.
It's in
Molding
your
the
fat, it's in your hair.
body.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
they just take a hair strand.
Whereas stuff like heroin and stuff like coke, it leaves your body within 48 hours.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? And MD as well.
But that's why less people were using it in prisons as well, weren't it? Because of that. Because they get tested with the cannabis and they get caught. They have the other drugs, the harder ones. They get through the system quicker.
MD should be legal as well.
Again, cannabis, it's in prisons, it should be, you know, prisoners should be able to buy cannabis.
Can you put that couple of plants one back up, please, local?
The what?
You just put one up about a couple of plants. Yeah, right.
Okay. Matty England has commented, I agree. Just grow your own. I don't think the police really care if it's a couple of plants. Just get good filters so you don't piss the neighbours off.
A lot of it's a postcode lottery, and you know, it is down to where you are.
Down here, this happened last year. A chap was caught with 9 plants, and he was cautioned, folks. So that is the benchmark now that has been put in place that people can use. I believe from what's happened to that last year, that case last year.
The true test will come when he's gone guilty and he's admitted it.
Yeah.
So the true test will come when the person they arrest doesn't comment and goes, you know, and takes it to court. That's where the real test of that thing will go. And the more medical patients that the police wrongly arrest and you know, and they go to court and don't take the caution. That's where the tests will come.
Oh, Bagman says, Age Case, could you put the petition to allow medical patients to grow their own?
Oh yeah, that's definitely worth signing.
Where is it? Is it on the government website?
I did put it in.
I think I signed that.
I can't remember which room I put it in now.
If you put it into the back chat,
yeah,
and then Age Case can put it up. Yeah.
Oh, I hope this has helped people today, and I hope this has encouraged people to also, you know, if they feel that they need medical cannabis, to just get the, you know, the tick box thing before you even have the £50 appointment is free, you know, and then it'll tell you whether you're not. But from what I gather, everyone gets accepted. So, you know, go ahead. You know, if you feel you need it, that you want medical cannabis, apply for it.
For some conditions I think take a bit longer. Like I've got intracranial hypertension, so my first interview, I was a bit cautious. So I had to have a second one with a specialist in, you know, in intracranial pressure.
Yeah.
But I think it's because the other doctors, they just hadn't dealt with it. It was just more of a precautionary thing than anything. But if most people, if they're already using cannabis, they're going to be, you know, the doctor I should imagine be okay with them having it because at least they know what they're having. Yeah.
That's the thing, you see.
Age Case, the private chat, please. D-Whip posted the link in there.
Well, I'm gonna jump off now and say good night.
That was Miss Joy.
Thank you for
Thank you
having
for
me.
jumping on, Mrs. J,
Oh, pleasure.
joining in on the discussion. Thank you for joining. Have a good evening.
No worries. I hope it helps people.
Are you live was you live today or are you live tomorrow?
No, I'm not doing any lives at the moment. I'm not
No,
on
live.
YouTube. I'm not going on YouTube. All right. I'll see you later.
All right, take it easy.
Later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize she didn't do the live stream today.
Yeah, she hasn't done it for a few weeks, actually.
Yes, Age. So yeah, man. I'll wait for you to if you can share it, and then we can see what Bagman's talking about.
Oh, I shared it already. I'll share it again if you want. Or shall I get it up? I can show everyone. Here it is. I'm
What is
sharing
this?
it now.
I don't know what this petition is. This is the first I'm hearing about it.
Grow your own laws for legal medical cannabis patients. Allowed to maintain 3 to 6 flowering plants.
And where can people find this?
I just posted it in the chat. I'll post it again.
All right. Yeah.
Here you go.
I'm behind in the chat. There's I live in London. In King's Cross, there's a cannabis shop that sells seeds, and so it's legal to sell the seeds. So you can buy the seeds from there. But as soon as
they're classed as souvenirs, aren't they?
yeah,
Same as grinders. It's legal to sell grinders. They know
but
what
then
you're
as
doing with
soon
it.
as you plant it, it becomes illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And they've got all the seeds that you can name in that shop. Next time I go past, I will ask them if I can take a quick video and snapshots. Vanish says he got banned from his doctors.
I suppose it's like a certain way you got to go about it. You can't just go to your doctor. Oh yeah, can you get me some cannabis? Or
your doctor can't help you because they're not allowed to. But unless you've got epilepsy or really severe,
doesn't seem that way. No.
I think palliative care as well, cancer care. They normally do it for that. But again, it's not the weed they're giving you. They're giving you the I can never pronounce it. Drabanol. I can never pronounce it.
Do you think everything's sort of going private now?
Age, I just need to go to the loo. Sorry, one sec.
Yeah, that's the start of it, and then I think it's going to be the private cannabis clubs, and that's going to be people trusting, getting trust in each other. You know what I mean? as they do in Spain, and they'll probably take over from the, well, not take over, but have the majority. It's got that Snoop Dogg who was in the fake Snoop Dogg who was in the park the other week.
Yeah.
That he had a Relief shirt on his top. I was looking at their website the other day, and they're basically starting one of them businesses, but they haven't got permission, I don't think, because they're only opening a waiting list. But they're basically offering everything that all the other clinics are offering, but wrapping it up and giving you a card, a vaporizer, and grinder. But they'll just charge a packet for it, you know what I mean? So they're selling more of a product, yeah. And then it isn't really medicinal, is it? And if you need it and got one of the conditions. Did you read out the conditions? That's what I'm to say.
No,
the
that's
conditions
one thing we haven't done.
Yeah.
What conditions that? What, like illnesses or?
Yeah, like in the UK, if they've got a list of conditions that to qualify.
Yeah.
So I go from pain, cancer, epilepsy, vomiting and nausea, depression, neurological, PTSD, fibromyalgia, migraines, MS, sleep disorders, spasticity, anxiety, eating disorders, muscle spasms, nausea, and palliative care. So it's normally one that one or more, and if you've tried one or more different medications, I think they used to want you to have tried 2 medications, but I think they're easing up on that now. And that's basically what they want to see your summary care records for. They want proof that you've got these conditions that you're saying, and that you're having them 2 medications for them conditions, and that's all they need really. So that's why they want to see your summary care records. So your doctor, that's the only way your doctors,
See, other than asthma, I've never had any of that, so I probably would I qualify? I probably wouldn't.
I think you might find it hard. They'd probably ask you to go to the doctor first to try 2 medicines.
Yeah.
So they'd get you to get an inhaler or.
Batman has commented, is the oil better than the flour?
Yeah, because it's concentrated, so but it would be dearer because of that as well. Because it's took more to produce it. So it's basically the oil. It's got rid of all the green and the organic material. You're just left with the cannabinoids. If it's full spectrum, you've got all of them. But they do different mixes of the oils as well. I've not tried the THC oil off them. I've had, I've tried it before, but not the legal. I've only had the legal CBD.
Bagman, what question have you asked 3 times now? Sean E says there's a YouTuber. He says he can order up to 90 grams a month limit.
Yeah. There are people that I have seen that because there is different groups and that as well. Medical users on Discord, Reddit, and there are a few people that get a lot. But they're having to pay a lot for it as well. That's the
In your
whether that's sustainable, having that, having to buy that much thing.
in your 3 or 4 years that you turned to medical cannabis, what was the most you got one time?
Probably 60 grams.
60 grams.
Yeah, 10 it was 10 grams of CBD, 20 and a 30. But sometimes I only have 20 the indica, and I might have 15 of the CBD. So it depends on what you've got and what you've gone through the month before. You know me though, I like to have a choice, so I've got because I've been having it a while now. I've probably got 10 different ones for the day and 10 for the night. A little bit of each. It's nice to change it, have a different flavour, and still get the relief.
Oh, Vincent Vega, he's commented, I hold shares with UK and US medicinal cannabis growers. Please smoke more. Don't worry about the lack of motivation.
That's funny.
It is booming investments, isn't it? It's weird in America though, because they're not allowed to bank the money, are they?
Really?
Yeah.
What do you
Still
mean?
having trouble banking the money, I think.
So what do they do with it all then?
Exactly.
Keep
Keeping hold of it.
Keep putting it back into the business.
Yeah. And storing it. So that's what,
And then I suppose like with the accessories like grinders and all that, they can make the money off that. They can bank that.
I don't know how they're doing it, but...
Oh, Vincent doesn't smoke weed. What was I waffling on about? People not smoking weed.
He likes his gin, doesn't he?
Oh no. Oh no. Oh yeah, I was saying people that don't smoke weed, instead of well, I don't know, you take medicinal cannabis for an injury, wouldn't you? Or pain or something. You wouldn't take it for fun, like drink.
Some people use cannabis, it's just normal, isn't it? People use whether it's drink, weed. Everyone's got free choice.
Hello.
Hello,
Is
SG.
in the building.
Hello, good.
Hello.
Hello, SG. Is this the real SG?
This is the real SG. I'm standing up. No, I'm not.
How are you?
Yeah, how's it going?
You right?
Yeah. Too bad.
Good, man. Good.
One thing that keeps me going is some cannabis now and again, I've given it up now and again, but it still does a job. Jersey Royal Sniffer said for chronic pain, nothing has worked like cannabis, and I agree.
Yeah.
Everything that came from the doctor was, a failure and big side effects, which there is no such thing as side effects. It's all effects, isn't it?
Yeah.
You might say unwanted effects. But, I'd say
they say that it's working, and that's that.
Yeah.
So, but then you end up having tablets for the effects.
Yeah, and of course you've got tablets that have certain effects only when mixed with other ones that maybe you're taking. And you find that the doctors are beyond things for months, and then they go, "Oh, yeah, that's interfering with this." You know, and sometimes I just think, you know, most of the time, just I can deal with this shit with some weed, you know.
Yeah.
It's a shame I can't get that prescribed. I
Have you tried getting it prescribed?
I haven't tried, no. But really, all it comes down to is like having a CAN card or something, you know, where like kind of gives you allowances. I've heard of people getting kind of accepted by the doctor. Like there was one guy I spoke to, and I believe he was correct, that like if he doesn't get it, then it's really bad for anyone around him. He has to have it because it literally keeps him on a psychologically stable level.
Yeah.
If he doesn't have it, then it's bad news, you know.
The thing with the CAN card, though, it's no real protection. It is like a postcode, you know, it's a postcode lottery.
Yeah, there is a common law one as well, but I'm not going to say how effective that is until I try it myself. And same with the CAN card. But the other day I had to answer the door to the police because of my neighbour, and they're nothing to do with me. But then had this PCSO there going, "Yeah, you get laughing as well." She was. She said, "I reckon you had, or I know you had a joint some time ago." And I was like, And she went, "Well, if you do, you did, but you know, when you do, you might want to go out for a walk or something." And I'm like, "Oh, that's a very fair way of looking at it." But I'm thinking, like, who the hell are you? You know?
I'm woo.
But I'm at home, and I don't want to bring police to my home for any reason, really. You know, who wants that?
That's one thing the CAN card has started, with some of the police forces. It was close to them, I think, that where they're based. If it's reported by a neighbour, the police are offering the medical users a vape pen to put the herb in. So they've got the...
Okay.
They're telling them
my panel.
Woo! Hello.
Woo.
I can remember trying that stuff, but
yeah, you went full hog though, didn't you?
Yeah. What's this? Put tobacco in it? Nah, skip the tobacco. Just pack it full. Knock myself out. And I gave it all to my friend.
You forgot he was in a wheelchair and tried to walk.
Oh, jeez. Headbutt the wall.
Did anyone ever go to Amsterdam just to have a legal joint? You know.
Oh yeah.
I did. And that was pretty weird.
A few months ago. Yeah. It's fucking
I used to love
expensive.
going to Amsterdam.
It was a long time ago I went, but things have changed now, haven't they? I mean, it's a bit more difficult to go and smoke a joint over there, isn't it? Or are they not
outside of Amsterdam, you can't. Tourists can't smoke. It's only in Amsterdam you're allowed.
Is it not just one day a
so
week?
no more Rotterdam then, because Rotterdam
was
was better than Amsterdam, I heard.
Well, we went to some theme park. This was a few months ago, and we went to some town to go to this cafe, and they were like, "You need papers to prove that you live here." So yeah, so outside of Amsterdam, they don't sell weed to tourists anymore.
I'd probably say something like, "Well, can't you just do this once? I mean, you know, I thought you were a pretty, you know,
no, they have bouncers
liberal here."
And we tried it in a couple of places, and they just weren't having it.
Yeah, I bet. Well, they get put down.
The Christian councillors, quite, you know, conservative
They're trying
Christian.
to ban it in Amsterdam as well. That's next.
False
I suppose
advertising.
it depends who you get, but
thinking you can all go to Amsterdam and smoke as much weed as you want.
Yeah.
I
think they're trying to stop on the prostitution over there. Now they're trying to put that into one big building. Apparently.
One big building.
Yeah, I heard somebody talking about that earlier.
Not a skyscraper, but a big
It's a bit off topic though.
Amsterdam is a weird place.
See how you're talking about the can card? The one I
Yeah.
got was called a MedCan ID.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was you get like a prescription from Project 21 of what you're going
Yeah.
to get. And you take a picture of that and send it to this place and they give you the card for free.
Yeah. That card's finished now.
I
I've
don't
still
know,
got
mine's
it.
just
I've still got
expired.
it. But, yeah, but no one. It's never asked for, or it's never. It's not in the system for anything.
Right.
It just says
Only
this
from-
patient was seen by a specialist UK doctor, which I wasn't. It was online, and has received a legal medical cannabis prescription. That's all it says on it. But I've obviously never had to use it because I gave all my weed away.
I received a letter from my landlord a few months ago, like about 10 months ago, that said, we know that cannabis is being smoked in the flats in your area. The police and us are making checks in the evenings and the weekend to find out who this is. So I'm really hoping that PCSO is really as dumb as she seems. I'm probably kicked out for smoking cannabis. I mean,
has a cold at
does
the
anyone
time of
know of
visiting.
that?
I think the only thing they can class it as is a nuisance neighbour, if you know what I mean. That's the only thing they can.
I ain't the only one.
That's it. But it's they're probably a nuisance another way to you. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's how do they police that?
But could they say anything if you got it legally though? If you went through the medical.
They can arrest you, like anything, and that's just But you
they can try.
Yeah,
but what would they arrest you for, though?
Can't prosecute it, in court.
Yeah.
So how can they arrest you if they can't prosecute it? It should only
My
be...
card said it was a legal
the copper don't know
medical.
the law, does he? If you know what I mean.
Well, yeah. I see what you're saying.
They use the same 3 or 4 laws to arrest everyone, don't they? Most coppers.
They're in a bad mood.
Yeah.
It's like fishing, really, isn't it? When you go out fishing, like a boat with a net, you throw the net out and you get all this other stuff, which usually dies. Yeah, but like somewhere in there is the target fish you wanted. Yeah, you get a load of them, but you don't worry about anything else. They usually die. You put them back in, but they're dead. That's like the police, isn't it? They put out this big net everywhere and they haul in whoever they think they might need to haul in.
But as I just say, when you think some of the people that do deal with it, and that they deal with criminals, don't they? But it's when they are unprofessional. That's the, you know what I mean. Too many of them.
I got
too
caught with
often
a spliff
seem
a couple of years ago, and that was £150 fine.
Yeah.
And I had the police come round, and they said, "We can smell cannabis. Can we come inside?" And I went, turned around, slammed the door shut, and went, "No, not without a warrant." And they looked at each other and went, "All right, we'll move on."
Damn, he knows the law.
I think give them an excuse to ride as if
I don't believe the smell is enough cause for
They
anything.
suspect
You
everyone
can't
of
search
growing.
someone's car now, can you? As an officer, as a constable for smelling it. So I don't know why they think maybe they can with someone's house. I don't know. I just won't answer the door. I'll be like, "Go get your warrant. I'm smoking the evidence."
Yeah, it does stink though.
It does. It is a shame.
My pal had it in a Tupperware box once, in my glove box, and even after I took it out of the car, it stunk my car out for ages.
It's like a curse, isn't it? It's like
you've been highlighted.
that day that I've had it happen a few times. You get pulled over and they say, "I can smell some cannabis," and you're thinking, "Well, actually, I haven't even smoked any in here for 2 days." I remember a copper saying once, "Can I search your car because of that?" And I went, "Well, I don't know what's in here really. I haven't searched it in ages. It's bloody anything could have fell in off someone. Who knows?" said, no. And he went, oh, yeah. All right, then.
I don't know if I was a police officer, I'd be thinking that sounds dodgy. He's
Yeah,
hiding
well,
something.
I mean, that's a reality, though, isn't it?
How many people have driven your car since then?
Not driven, but been in, I suppose, is what I
Yeah,
mean.
true. That.
You never know, unless you search your car fully. And I tell you what, police, for
You
some
have
reason,
lots of
can
dodgy
search your car a
passengers.
lot more than, certainly I can and my friends. We searched my car one time, about five of us searched my car for Rizzler, couldn't find any, went and bought Rizzler, went to the place where we wanted to have a joint. The police arrived, took all of our Rizzler, didn't find any weed. Then my friend said, here, I've got some weed in my pocket. Well, they didn't search him properly. Well, we hadn't got any Rizzler, so we had to go and buy Rizzler again.
Jeez.
Arseholes.
I thought you were going to say you peeled the sun visor down and there was Rizzlers in it.
Oh, no. Done that kind of thing, though.
Local, I'm going to have to jump off, man. If you're there.
All right, man.
Take it easy, everyone.
Take it easy.
Cool.
I'm gonna carry on for a bit and let
That's
them
all good.
waffle, and then yeah.
Who you saying's waffle local?
Speak soon.
Keep calling
I
it
blame the
waffle.
fact I'm smoking a joint.
Take it easy, man.
Peace, man.
Bye, Brownie Man. I don't know what his name was.
Hello, Wendy.
Hello, local. How are you?
I think this
Press
is
one
like
in the chat.
I think this is the first time I'm speaking to you since you come back into YouTube.
Yeah, I've been back a while, but it's just I've
Yeah, I know.
got caught up in like new channels, and it's just they're all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
They're all crazy. They all need a bang to the head and a year off YouTube. And a joint.
They need to get some medical cannabis. That's what they all need to do.
They're all full of shit, aren't they?
It should be mandatory. That's one thing that should be mandatory is cannabis, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should have
Someone goes,
gun to the head.
I'm going to have you. I'm going to break you. Hold on, give him a joint.
Yeah, but
And
look
then,
how
he
people
smokes a
react when
joint.
they've not got weed. Remember that person
Yeah.
that ran out of weed one day?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That guy I met was like. He was literally like he was talking about this experience he had when police went, I can smell cannabis on you. And then suddenly there was like backup and there was like 20 police and he was like, you don't want to be taking my cannabis.
Yeah. You don't want to see how I turn into a green monster.
And yeah. They didn't search him.
Yeah.
They obviously had to tell him who he was and the fact that he'd been okayed by his doctor. And he was a special case of whatever, certainly he didn't know anyone else.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Well, it's just...
I wonder if
You
more
must be
people are
addicted,
failing
though,
the
if
drug tests, when they get tests on the roadside.
Mm.
Is that an instant result?
I think they started to.
but-
There is some tests.
I was blood tested for cannabis while under the influence of cannabis, in operation of a motor vehicle or whatever. I crashed into the police compound.
You don't have much luck with the law, do you?
No, I crashed into the police compound that time, though.
Jesus.
I mean, it was extreme, random stuff.
Where they're
I got
not paying you
stopped
any attention.
How about this, though? How about this, yeah? I got stopped by 3 sets of police in 3 different lay-bys with my friends while rolling a joint. And I went out and spoke to them really nicely, and they went. And then I crashed into the compound, and then, of course, they didn't go.
Nah. Stuck around for that one.
Yeah. I did a blood test and a sobriety test. And, then...
Is that the one where you have to touch your nose and walk in a straight line and stuff?
Well, yeah, I did a little bit of that, but it wasn't a straight line. They put a load of tables in a zigzag and said, walk around these. And I nearly fell.
Really?
Yeah. I'd been asleep for 2 hours. And they woke me up and went, do this.
Surely that's the natural line
Yeah,
when you're
and
drunk.
there was my actual personal doctor sitting there. And I'm going, I could complain about this and get him changed. but I can't be asked.
Did you? All right.
No, I couldn't be asked. I've been there too long. I thought I'll do this. I can go.
That man's saying he's had too
You
much
know,
wine.
I got the results anyway. I ended up back there at the desk. You know, the desk of the cells, not the front like desk reception. And there's the camera behind him pointing down at me and that. And I remember him saying, "Okay, we have the results of the test, the blood test, and there was found traces of cannabis in your bloodstream." And I'm like, great. And he's just, you know, it's like this whole build up for that as well. And I'm like, fucking great. There goes my license, you know, or something. And he goes, but not enough to prosecute. This time, but what he didn't know was I actually had my giving him the bird just underneath his table, but it looked funny to me because the camera didn't show it, you know. And but yeah, that was a happy day. I wrote my car off, but I mean,
yeah, it was a happy day, but you wrote your car off.
Yeah, you know, wrote my car off, and crashing it into the compound. Yeah.
Were you planning on getting a new car that day?
No. Actually, I didn't know whether to get another car, and I hadn't driven all of the months.
If I had drove into a police compound, I'd definitely be getting a new car because that one was definitely going to get tagged.
If I'd have a license, so I didn't know whether it was worth, you know, getting one. So
is that a 3 points on your license for that?
I think it possibly would have been a ban. That's a ban.
What, an
same
instant
as
ban?
alcohol. It's same as alcohol.
All right, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, it's the law isn't alcohol. It's the law is operating a motor vehicle under the influence of drink or drugs.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's everything, really. You could be on prescription medication that you shouldn't be operating machinery as well.
Even if it's legal?
Even if it's a legal drug, yeah, that you've been given by the doctor, but you should not be operating machinery.
Yeah, but I suppose
or you
it
have
depends
that
if
and
you're
go to the pub and have a
abusing
beer.
the medication.
Yeah, if you have a beer, say at the pub, one beer, you think one beer, but you've mixed it with your medication, you may have gone into the realm
You
of...
putting your camera on, local?
Yeah, for the comment bag, man.
For the comment bag, man.
Yeah, it's
said local.
Oh, sorry. My bad, mate.
Sorry, SG.
Yeah, yeah. I came in and said hi
interrupt.
about an hour ago until you put that message up. Have you caught up with the chat?
Yeah, well, we was waffling on about medical cannabis, so yeah.
I think it's all medical cannabis.
Yeah, it's good to be behind in the chat.
unless the
great
question's
get out
relevant.
comment. Yeah.
Unless their question's relevant and there's two people chatting in the chat.
If Batman's jumping on, he's a legend.
Yeah, Batman.
No, I said he might do it next time he's had half a bottle of wine.
Oh.
Which that doesn't seem enough for Batman not to.
I was going to say, is that the problem is he hasn't had the bottle yet.
Yeah.
He's just warming up. Getting got the
He's
gin
not
out.
switched his flashy. He still have his flashy lights. Oh, Dave Hurd as well. He's another legend.
Yeah.
The dark chickens.
Dave Hurd, hello Dave Hurd, has commented, they say you can't get it for back pain because there's no proof that it relieves pain.
Well, it does release the chronic back pain. If anyone doesn't know what chronic pain is... I'm sorry.
I can confirm you get it for back pain.
Yeah.
You can. Well, that's mainly what I got mine for, but because my condition's quite rare, they just went on the medication I was on rather than what I was getting it for.
Yeah. I think they just want to check that you've got you're having the medications and that you've tried them.
Yeah.
It's not really a hard test, they're not really trying to catch anyone out, are they, or anything like that?
Well, it's not in their benefit to catch people out.
No.
I was put on, the antidepressants was one of the side effects that they were used for anyway. Antidepressants for back pain.
Is that
And I remember saying, what the
amitriptyline? Is it amitriptyline?
Yeah, they did do amitriptyline, yeah.
I can
Quite a
see
few
they take
things they've had
up
me
to
trying
5 of them a
to hold me
day.
on. Fucking hell. I actually end up being a zombie on them though. Eventually, you know.
I don't take that many. I'm on about 60 a day anyway, like different medications. But the weed thing, it's like everybody comes on and I'm stoned and they're all mellow and everything. I tried it, wiped myself out and totally had a panic attack.
Oh, it can have that effect as well.
Equivalent to
Yeah.
drinking a bottle, don't you?
It all
What do
depends
you
where the weed has sent you, though. You know, this is the medical cannabis argument as well, because it's like mostly CBD as opposed to the THC, and
Mine
most of
was
the weed we get is
20%
high on
THC.
THC, yeah, and lower CBD, but you get both in your weed. But you know, there's
Mine
obviously
was 20 THC and 4% CBD.
yeah. You see, a lot of people are like, if it's got THC, then it's not medicinal. I don't believe that's the case. You know, even though the weed is
But yeah, but
highly
I'll say that's
THC.
definitely not the case. Like CBD is good on its own.
Mm.
It is an anti-inflammatory. It's good for pain, and but its best benefit is in epilepsy and brain, seizures and things like that.
Yeah.
That's where it seems to excel.
It certainly seemed to help me relax my muscles and stuff. You know?
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. It done that for me, but I've already got mobility problems, so I still need to be able to get about.
Yeah.
And that just had me lying on the bed, room spinning, thinking I did about 50 bottles of bucky.
Yeah. Again, that's just dosage, and if you baked it and had 0.1.
If I'd read the
Even that would have probably been. I suppose the equivalent that night, if it would have been whiskey, you'd have the equivalent of drinking a bottle straight down.
2 grams, that's not a lot.
But it is hard just to have one drag, I suppose.
I smoked it like a rollie, didn't I?
Yeah.
At the back door.
And really, you should have just had a drag and then left it, and then seen how that felt.
I can't do things in small doses.
That's it. That is the hard bit with the dosage.
Yeah,
that's why they're trying to get people to vape it.
I've always got it wrong, the dosage. Yeah.
Yeah, they had mine down as, I think it was 2 milligrams or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had bought scales.
But for someone who don't use a lot, that is a lot, if you know what I mean, because you're getting 100% of the THC.
Yeah, but when I looked at it, I thought
you're on a few other medications, though, Wu, so that might affect its effectiveness.
Consideration. I just thought that doesn't look enough. Get rid of the tobacco, fill it. I can't remember which one it was I had. Was it the sativa or the indica one?
There's something you're doing there, though. If you eliminate tobacco,
you had the indica when you went to have the sativa.
Yeah, I went for the night one.
Yeah,
filled it, smoked it like a rollie, and then just panicked and heart, chest, and everything went crazy.
I was going to say that if you eliminate the tobacco, I did this when I went to Amsterdam. I bought neat joints. I went, well, I'm in Amsterdam, I'll buy a already rolled neat joint. And I smoked them for about 3-4 hours. I went to a few cafes and I went back to the one that I'd started at. And I was like, I'm not stoned at all. This is weird. What's gone on? I had a break, going to the airport and doing the airport thing and the flying and the other airport and then getting somewhere and then waiting long enough to, find somewhere that sells it because that was a bit early. So, I should have been stoned by 4 hours of smoking neat joints. What's going on? And I thought, well, I'll make a joint, So I got the tobacco that I got. I bought some weed and it looked exactly like the weed that I've been smoking over here before I went over. And I'm like, it looks good though, but so I made a joint and I sat there and it like all hit me in that joint because I learned, and I looked into it later, that what you do by eliminating the tobacco is you turn it into a head high as opposed to a physical high.
Right.
Because I wasn't smoking neat joints yet, no matter how much I put in, I'd always put tobacco in. So I was
I
actually
didn't.
making it a physical high. And it was completely different. I didn't even think I was
Well, for
stoned.
being a smoker, it was the weirdest thing I done was just take all the tobacco out.
If you get,
Well, no,
if you
it's a
get
good
tobacco totally out
thing,
your
yeah.
system,
But
you can get the tobacco totally out your system and get rid of nicotine. After about 2 weeks of having no nicotine, THC and cannabis hit you totally differently than when
agreed.
you have it with.
Agreed.
And
But if
you
you
can't smoke, you
it's
definitely
different.
can't smoke as much because it hits you, a lot harder.
Oh, it definitely hit me straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
Between the back door and the bedroom, it hit me.
I've had plenty of like bongs and things, with just weed in and stuff, and it does hit you, but like it's I don't know, that from my experience that time, it was just it didn't seem to have the right effect. And but
It
believe
just
me, after
seemed
when I
totally
had that
different
joint,
from
it
when I
was
was a
like I
kid.
had 4 hours worth of joints,
It just seemed totally different from when we smoked hash.
Yeah, that is different. Yeah, because of course it's not
Because
really.
before that, it was the last time I'd smoked it.
Yeah, it's not really just weed.
Yeah. Get rock burns everywhere.
Yeah,
Still
I've had plenty of smoking jackets because after one joint it'd be a
shell
smoking
suits. The
jacket.
shell suits I went through. They're not compatible. You still awake, local?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, you eating?
I'm just munching on
You got the
some biscuits.
munchies?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
The crumbs just landed on my head. So how you do it?
Yeah, good. Can't complain.
Can't complain.
Yeah, you?
This YouTube's went mental, hasn't it?
You into all the drama?
Amount of crazy people on this fucking internet.
Yeah, but you know they're all fake, don't you? You know what I mean? It's
Oh,
all
definitely.
for YouTube. It's...
But back like 2 years
I'm not here
ago,
for the drama.
I thought it was crazy then. Come back and it's like, whoa. They're
I
all
was
on
outside.
drugs.
I was outside a pub earlier, and it was really loud. And then a load of people came out to smoke, and like there was someone who was really drunk, and it was just such like it was like all this drama, it's like YouTube.
I bet you never called them a nonce or a wrong'un or
No,
anything like that.
no, they went in and they were quieter then, so it wasn't forever.
That's what happens on YouTube. You jump on a panel and straight away you're a wrong'un or a
Yeah, you're right.
nonce. Or, where's your acro? Froze your fridge.
I didn't even know what one of those was until YouTube.
Yeah, but it is all the same people though with each other, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh
no, there's a lot of new
and
people.
if they didn't feed each other about it, they've got nothing else to talk about or have content about.
Exactly.
The way I look at it, right, is we're here to talk about things. Even if we disagree, that's fine. But
That's
there's no
opinions.
reason to make it, a bit too salty. Yeah, and that's putting it mildly.
Well, that was like I was on a panel earlier,
Simple.
and the way the guy described it was, if you have a difference of opinion, it doesn't mean you're a troll. You've just got a difference of opinion.
Yeah, but it's the way you report yourself about that opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends what the channel
Is that
is.
Batman agreeing with me?
I mean, because nobody can have even a decent debate, and that's putting it like as maybe like arguing almost. But like you can't even have a mild debate or anything because of somebody attacking somebody else for something else.
Yeah.
And we all see it, don't we? When somebody is pissed off at the pub or like, oh yeah, I don't like you because you look at me
There should
funny,
be a
and he's like, well,
breathalyzer
I didn't
on
even look at
YouTube.
you, and he goes, well, you're fat. You know what I mean? You're fat, whatever. Or, whatever the first thing they can pick, they will pick.
I can't remember how long ago it was. It might have been weeks or months ago. But there's a guy jumped on a panel that I was on, and he wanted to speak to the guy that ran the panel. And because I went, he went, "You, I'm kicking you out your wheelchair." And they're still talking about it. We're kicking out a wheelchair.
Well, I've actually done that myself, but I have felt bad about it. I'm like, that's not really a
It honestly
politically
doesn't
correct
bother me,
thing
but they
anymore.
think it
Like,
does. They think
like,
it bothers me, but it honestly doesn't.
I remember playing online gaming years ago, and I kept saying retarded with the Americans around a few times. Americans were like, "I don't like you saying that. Could you please not?" It's like offensive to me. But because they were respectful, I was like, took it on board. And I still say it, and I don't mean it nastily, but like, does that make me a troll?
Yeah, but some people were brought up with those words.
We all
it doesn't mean they're. It doesn't mean we're being racist or anything. I try not to use them. They were around when
I read it in my car manual earlier about the timing on the engine. Like the increase or retard the timing speed. And I'm like, okay, is that trolling me? Saying
yeah.
Sorry,
what did you say to it?
No, I didn't think that, of course. No, I just I can't help it, can we? We say we don't all say go down the corner shop, do we? But doesn't mean you're racist. It means you've learned in a way that probably wasn't the best,
But they say that's racist, but we get called Scots. That's just a shortening of the.
Well, can I say that a lot of people, including myself, do get confused about other countries, including probably even England, as like the understanding of how to say the people of that country,
And it's always to do with context.
But the thing is, though, you find it's not the people from that country that are offended.
Would you also think emotional content has to do with it as well, though? Like if somebody says, "Oh, you're a Scot" or something, then that as opposed to
it's how it's used and where it's used, isn't it?
But I mean that it's the people. It's not the people that should be offended by it that's offended. It's other people that are being offended by them saying it.
Oh, including the people who are offended for the people who would be offended but aren't here.
For all that on YouTube, again, it's all fake and it's all fake outrage.
Clicks and views.
Yeah. It's almost like I've got to be outraged because it's on YouTube.
But it's probably a good idea,
though.
Off
YouTube, they're not going around the house thinking about it, are they? They're not.
We just do it.
Yeah.
Short and Scottish, but not Pakistani. Is that me getting told off because I'd said it's not racist for Scots? I don't see why they say that though. If you've just shortened the word, how can you be racist?
That's how it's used, isn't it? And the historical thing, how it's been used.
Well,
that's what the racists hide behind, isn't it? If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
What? I was born in England, right? I don't think I actually really know what an English person is really called. What were they called? Like, I know there's Brit, but that's a conjoining of countries. So
yeah, but
don't know.
What's the French derogatory? Don't they call us roast beefs or something? I don't know what the rest of the world's derogatory terms are for us.
Yeah, well, I don't even know what the actual term for me is. How stupid is that?
It's probably not a shortened down version of anything. This is
I'm just going to ask everyone else, and it's going to be a load of things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Most side is saying poms. Is that Australians that cause poms?
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the pom-poms that were worn on the soldiers' feet, toes, and their uniforms.
And the
confused with
Americans call us
clowns.
limeys because of scurvy.
I don't actually know what someone from England is called though. What the hell? English?
English.
Is that it? It's just English?
Yeah.
Is that all? That's really
We
just
get called
Yeah, but
Scots. We get
singularly dry.
Scots, we get
We're
called.
because we're not we're the ones normally conquering, aren't we? If you know what I mean.
Right, that's it.
But what you mean is the founders of that kind of shit
Yeah.
don't need any reference other than just England. Like
The
English.
winners write the rules, don't they? You know,
Mm.
that's
Shut up.
we
can't even think you'll come back
grabbed
from
hold
that.
of the crown.
I can't even think you'll come back for that. Give me 5
Hasn't
minutes.
Charlie got the crown soon? Hold on. Has he been? Has he got the crown? I don't know.
Is it next week or?
Oh, is it? No, that's a strange day then.
Yeah, imagine coming back out of hospital and figuring out that there's no more queen, you've got a king. What was the other one? It was another prime minister. See, if you ever get tested for Alzheimer's, don't be in hospital for ages. You come out and they go, right, and who's the current prime minister?
Yeah. How many did you
I can't
miss?
remember who I said. I can't even remember who I said.
I don't
Was
even
it
know
right?
who that
Who was
is.
prime minister when you went in? Can you remember?
Boris Johnson, I think.
Was it Johnson?
I'm sure he was still prime minister when I went in. That's what I mean. It all changed when I came out. It was like, what?
Did you have COVID in there?
No, I've still not had it.
Oh, yeah. No.
And I've had no jabs either. I got away with it.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I'm a pure blood.
I'm just really
I might be
scared
Scottish,
of
but I'm a pure
needles.
blood.
I just have a fear of needles, you know.
I'm not too bad. I think it always
I hadn't
hurts when they
heard the
pull the needle
worst.
out.
I hadn't heard as bad like a sales pitch than what they came out with for COVID. You know, to get me
What
to
do you mean?
take something I really didn't want to have. It was like, well,
Oh, right,
sell it better.
Calm down. Well, yeah. Calm down
What?
on the
Oh,
COVID.
sorry, yeah.
Oh,
My bad.
sorry.
crap. Yeah.
Just talking about the bee stings.
Yeah, cupcakes.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Another
I'm
reason
gonna-
why cannabis is good.
Yes.
No needles.
As in, like only it was something like less than 1% of people who had had it around the last few years, like weren't terminal. You know, they were terminal 1%, which was the lowest percent of nearly all the statistics that there were for people who've had it
Yeah.
and you know, had a bad time. And
I don't
the
think
medical
people chat
community
like in the king.
couldn't answer it. Why are the smokers surviving? You know, they must be killing something in the lungs. Maybe, I don't know.
That could be it. That's the reason I still smoke.
It was the reason I started smoking more in lockdown. Oh yeah,
Boredom.
I did say that to myself though, and then I heard that literally stated, and I was like, I like that comment.
That's my excuse.
Yeah. For now,
Just being bribed with donuts.
the science.
Being bribed with donuts put me off. You got bribed with donuts. I never got bribed with donuts.
So that's the new one then. It'll be smoke this
That must
because
have been
it'll
at the
save
beginning.
your life.
I do
Smoke
that.
this because it'll save your life.
Yeah. Have calories instead and
Got the new
have some
rollout.
donuts.
Everyone gets an ounce each.
Yeah. So has it
Medicinal
been,
purposes.
what's the word? Coronation for the king.
He said next
So
week.
should have it. Is it?
Next week, Sunday.
How long's he been king?
Well, no, he won't be till then. Not,
Is it
won't be
only a
done
month?
officially though.
Is it only a month?
6
Yeah,
months.
he's been
6 months. I
unemployed
was
all
gonna
that
say,
time before.
he was employed before.
He's been unemployed the whole time until now. Next week.
Just
And we'll be back live straight after the ceremony at 9:30 again on Sunday.
are you going down to film it?
I might do. There's a protest the day before, and there's a protest this Saturday, which I'll be attending.
What are they for?
One's about the BBC, outside the BBC, and that
Remember to
attracts a
take your
few.
solicitor's number for that one.
Yeah, and the other one is a bereavement for the vaccinated and the people that have died from the vaccine.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I hope they go well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And
The
then
statement has
Sunday,
to be made.
and then Sunday is the coronation, the 9th of no, sorry, is it the 9th or is it the 6th? No, it's the 9th. innit?
Seventh.
Is it the
Is
7th?
it Saturday or
When
Sunday?
Thursday's 4th, is it? I think for some reason.
If it's a Sunday, it's the 7th.
I don't have a calendar. I do on the phone, but I'm on YouTube on the phone.
So the 7th, yeah.
Yeah,
7th
Sunday's the
is
7th.
Sunday.
Of May already. It's just one of those years just flying in. Do you ever get told that when you were a kid? Or when you're older, just the years just fly by? You go, aye, right.
The older you get,
Summer
they
holidays
fly
are
by
lasting
more.
forever. School summer holidays lasted forever. Until the day you went back.
And time travels differently when on drugs as well. Mhm.
Yeah, true.
Oh, did DeWitt leave? Well,
Yeah, I
thank
think
you. Thank you,
he
DeWitt, for
did.
joining, man.
He did say he was going for something to eat.
Yeah, I just read the comment now, yeah.
He got some munchies after talking about all the weed.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna end it there as well, Woo.
Cool. Thanks for letting me on.
Nice for having you
No
on.
worries, Logan.
Nice to speak to you. And you as well,
Yeah.
SG. Thanks for
No.
jumping on.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'll catch you
Oh,
guys
sorry,
later.
I didn't even ask what
Thanks.
your name was. SG.
SG, yeah.
I'm Woo.
Have a
Just
good
in case
one,
you
Woo.
can't tell.
Thanks. Good to talk. See you later,
Right,
Local. Have a
catch
good
you
one.
later.
Peace.
Thanks,
Bye,
guys,
chat.
for jumping on. So, guys in the chat, thank you to everyone for joining the live stream today. Yeah, it's been a great discussion. We'll be back again next Sunday at the same time at 9:30. And next week's topic will be, let me just bring it up, the monarchy. So that's what we'll be talking about next Sunday at 9:30. So till then, have a good evening and be safe, and we'll see you again soon.